Okay, Zatima fans, now early this morning, I mean early, it was probably like, sheesh, 1:45, 2 o'clock, but I did watch episodes 3 and 4. Close Quarters. Angela offers Fatima sound advice concerning her love life. She sure as hell didn't. But Fatima may not be ready to receive it. Zach's introduction to Paul doesn't go as expected. Look, even though it was really early, I was still wide awake. So I watched this episode with clear eyes and a sound mind. I didn't love the episode. And I think it comes from and this is just me, maybe somebody else has a different perspective, but I feel like this episode, it had a lot of little things in it that I felt were kind of off, where it just kind of felt like forced into it for the sake of drama, but drama that didn't make sense. Now, if anybody can explain, and I'm going to tell you why I feel the way I feel, and I know some of you all leave very detailed comments where you'd be like, hey, Jeremy, I see where what you're saying, but from my perspective, I think this character was trying to get this point across. There were a lot of moments where I'm like, yeah, I didn't really know. So this is probably the lowest score I'm going to give an episode, which hurts because this is a Zatima, but I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. And I know you're probably, you're clutching your pearls right now, but I have my reasons. And maybe in the future, I'll mention in a future video, like, hey, you know what? I thought about it, instead of a 6, I'll give it a what? I mean, a score, whatever, a score of what, every number I decide. But let's be real here. It doesn't matter. It's just a number, and it's my opinion. And every season might have a bit of a flop, but I remember, what was it in season 1? What were the 2 episodes I wasn't too crazy about? Was it 7 and 8? I know there was 1 week where the episodes kind of felt meh. It was either that or the final 2. I forgot. But, yeah. Let's get into it, folks. So, Angela calls Fatima. She's already at the parking lot at work waiting for Paul to show up. And, Fatima is getting ready to leave as well. She's basically saying that, yeah, Zach is feeling kind of down. It was a rough night. He went to go see his mom, but I'll tell you all about it later. And and I said this on Twitter last night, not 75 seconds into the episode, Angela decides to tell Fatima to keep her options open. According to the synopsis, Angela offers Fatima sound advice concerning her love life. She's telling her good friend Fatima, who she knows is engaged and is currently living with her fiance, that she should keep her options open. What kind of friend is that? Seriously, I had to pause the episode and step away for a good 5 minutes because I couldn't believe what I was hearing. This just reinforces the idea that I had back in season 1. These two have no reason to be engaged. It just feels so weird that certain lines are said. And look, I get it. They moved quickly, but it's like Tyler Perry hit the fast forward button on their relationship. So, they're engaged now. They're living together. But we need to throw in some drama. So let's throw in some elements from maybe what would have been month 2 of a typical relationship. Like, outside friends and family give their thoughts and opinions on the person's significant other. But what kind of friend would tell somebody that's engaged to keep their options open? For real, just literally tell me who the hell would do that. All right, so before they leave the house, Fatima, checks in with Zach just to make sure things are okay. And I really like how she, stopped him from running out of the door and just, look, I'm going to tell you I love you and I'm here for you as much as you need to hear it, so you know that it's true. It was a sweet moment. So they go outside, get ready to go, because remember, Zach needs to take her to work because her car is there, which again, I didn't mention this in my episode review for episode 2, but it was so damn good that I didn't even care about the continuity. when Fatima told Zach she was going to get something out of the car, the side chick, and everybody was like, wait a minute, but her car was left at the parking garage. So what car did she go to outside to get that little bag with the side chick? I noticed it, but the episode was just so damn good, I didn't care. So, yeah, there you go, I mentioned it. All right. So, they go outside to Zach's car. Deja is struggling to get her bags of groceries out of the car, which begs the question, I've never broken a bone or had a cast or anything, but can you drive like that? I'm not saying, look, I'm asking because I don't know, but it just seems kind of weird. She's definitely putting on an act like Ezell. Oh, my neck and my back. Oh, I'm going to sue you for $150,000. But we can settle out of court now for $50. Get your punk ass up out the floor. It ain't even wet over there. All right. But yeah, Zach is offering to help because she's struggling. But then, of course, Fatima doesn't want him anywhere near Deja. And Fatima goes over there herself, grabs the groceries, chucks them against the wall. Even I was like, Fatima, that was a bit too much. And this fool Zach tries to help get her a head of lettuce. And she like kicks at him like, I don't want no dang lettuce. I'm like, dang, Deja, okay, wow. So Fatima makes him get in the car. She honks the horn and everything. Aren't you going to open my door? Come on now. And it was funny. And then I'm going to mention this again when we get to like Zach and Paul. But essentially, they drive off and Deja, she's just fuming. Now, we get over to the parking garage and we see Paul, no shirt, just a wife beater. And he's talking with Angela. Zach goes over there, and before they even get out of the car, Fatima tries to calm him down because Fatima, oh, there he is right there. That's the guy to help me. And this is the part where I'm like, okay, Zach is doing too much. And and not to jump too far ahead, but it leads into the beginning of episode 4 with just a childish and petty behavior. And it's hard to tell because it feels weird to call out Zach for this, which I will, when Fatima does the same shit. But at the same time, Fatima could smell Deja's deception from a mile away. And when you really think about it, Fatima has done more to defend her relationship status with Zach when other men come a-calling. When you look at how Zach kind of forgets that he has a fiance when it comes to Deja. Man, I feel Valerie, I believe. Valerie is the name of the realtor who Zach interacted with last season and, gave the information or referred the apartment to Deja. And when Valerie tried to make a move on or flirt with Zach, he's like, oh no, sorry, I'm taking, I'm living with my, my girlfriend and whatnot. And then when it comes to Deja, it took him a while before he revealed that he was engaged. But throughout the episode, especially in the elevator, when Paul is, trying to flirt and all with Fatima, she's like, no. I'm engaged, this, that, and the third. So I will say this. Despite them both having childish, petty behavior with someone of the opposite sex that they feel is making a move on their fiance, they're both childish and petty as hell. But I will say that Fatima so far has seemingly defended her relationship more than Zach. Just saying. Squeaky chair. But yeah, so Zach is just incredibly rude to Paul. Like, it's funny how Tyler writes these characters because at the beginning of this, here in this episode, I feel kind of bad for Paul. But then in episode 4, I'm like, yo, this dude is trash. So, or actually later on in the episode, I'm like, dude, this guy's trash. So Zach is just rude, just interrogating him, basically marking his territory, and throws $7 at him. Because he doesn't want, any kind of charge for, fixing a tire and whatnot. So then from there, Angela walks off and Paul also leaves. And from there, Fatima and Zach, they have their moment where the $7 is left on the ground. And Zach's like, Fatima's like, you want to get your money? Nah, you want it? Oh, it takes more money than that to please me, nigga. You better go have a nice day, And then Zach gets out of there and grabs that money. Yeah, that's my money. Shame to say, but if that was his mom, his mom would just take that money and run. But that's neither here nor there. So Zach leaves. Fatima and Angela go upstairs, and she explains to, Angela the whole thing with his mom, and like, he was not like that when we left the house. I don't know what the heck happened, but that was just weird. So Angela, is about to go upstairs because her and Fatima will talk later. Who comes out of the elevator but Bryce? And it's funny because I don't feel bad for Angela. Here you are spending all this time and energy trying to persuade Fatima to keep her options open, and then to do this with Zach, and give her thoughts and opinion. But when it comes to her love life, she can't run that. Oh, she couldn't. She could sprout wings and fly. Angela could not get away from Bryce quick enough, because Bryce was like, hey, look, you're ignoring my phone calls, you're avoiding me, what's going on? I gotta go to work. And it's like, but you don't start work for another hour. How do you know they don't need me early, Bryce? Look, well, fine. Can we talk? And like, look, I gotta go to work. Can you at least call me? How about after work? Yeah, I'll call. Well, are you sure you're gonna call? Because if you don't, I'll come to your house. Look, fine, I will talk to you later, Bryce. And the way she just got on the elevator and kind of like, squeezed herself over to the side to try to avoid being seen by him. No, I'm laughing my ass off. Like, this is what you get. You try to run away from your relationship issues by involving yourself with Fatima's, and now look at you. So Bryce is just looking around like, well, wow, okay. So then we go over to Rise Ventures, and Nate and Tony are actually there waiting for Zach, and it's cool to see these two again. But I'm guessing that they kind of move past the whole Nate and Zach drama for the sake of, look, I get it, because they know Jeremiah showed up to the barbershop, and apparently Nate heard that Zach saw his mom last night, so they know how his Zach's family makes him feel. So yeah, and that's how guys do. We usually quickly recover when we're having beef about something, when we really need to come together. But it just feels kind of weird that they just kind of glossed over the Zach and Nate drama like that. It just felt kind of off-putting, but it was still a good scene because we see the boys back together. So in the midst of, just talking, oh, this is a nice office, you looking good, man, looking like you got some money. And then Bryce, hey guys, and Zach's like, nope. Like Bryce is trying to, chop it up with the other two, but Zach ain't having it. He pretty much just pushes them off into the office. Go check out that property. Yeah, okay. But he doesn't go into full detail why things are off between the two, but, we all know what's going on. So Nathan and Tony, they're just trying to get, make sure Zach's okay, because they can tell the man, look at your face, you got blue balls and everything. You're just mad. Come on, man. Just let it out. Tell us what's going on. So Zach tells him to go because he has to go to work. He goes to the office. Tony follows him because, unlike Nathan, because Tony can calmly talk to Zach. And I think about the whole situation where Nathan feels like he's the victim. It's like, man, y'all treat me like crap, kicking me out of here, and you just getting an attitude. I don't need this. I'm going to wait in the car. So he leaves, and then from there, Tony and Zach just have mainly Tony's doing the talking, just reassures Zach, like, look, man, we got you. I know everything your mom did to you and everything, and your brother. It's kind of weird how they're just trying to guilt trip you like that. And Zach's like, yeah, my brother was doing the same shit as me, and then they act like I owe them because he, went to jail. I was in jail too. But the messed up, and this is the sad part here, Zach feels like he does owe them because, that's his mom. And look, everybody's like, man, he doesn't know him anything. It's like, look, hey, what did Steve Harvey say on his HBO One Night Stand? This is from years ago. I'm talking VHS days, where he's like, growing up, my daddy used to say, boy, you ain't shit. And he said that every day. And it kind of stuck in. So now I'm glad that I become a little bit of something so I can show him, I did make something out of myself. Basically, the saying, when you hear something enough times, you start to believe it. And how many times has his mom or brother reminded him of, oh, I went, to jail for you. I did this. We're your family. So in a way, he does feel like he owes them, despite the fact that they really haven't done a damn thing for him aside from cause him trouble. Which is really sad, because you think about his family probably constantly saying or rubbing in his face, I did this for you, I did that for you. But that translated over to his relationships, because look at all Karen continues to rub in his face. I did this for you. I held you down. Blah, 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 blah. No wonder he has bad relationship with women. So, from there, he and Tony dap it up, and then he leaves, and, Zach is just sad. So, Bryce, I'm just going to jump to this part. Later in the episode, Bryce comes into the office trying to talk with Zach, and, he's really remorseful, and Zach doesn't want to hear it, but then Bryce starts, explaining why he's feeling, awkward, and then he gets so comfortable to the point where he sits down, and Zach's like, wait, didn't I say you can sit down? And he's talking about how Angela's been acting weird towards him. It's like, look, did you tell anybody about what happened? It's like, yeah, I told Fatima you tried to kiss me, and it's like, well, could you tell me specifically what you said? I just said you tried to kiss me. And then from there, he deduces that, so then Fatima told Angela, and then that's how Angela's, or why Angela's acting this way towards me. And then Zach's like, what do you mean? It's like, I told my truth. I told what happened. And then Bryce, this is the part of the episode I really got mad. Bryce decides to belittle Zach in terms of how he's feeling, like, yo, man, when did you become such an asshole? It's like, whoa, excuse me? Yeah, when did you become such an asshole? It's like, it was just a kiss. Bryce, what the hell, man? It's like, yeah, it was just a kiss. You act like I murdered your mother. And then Zach, man, when Zach got up from that desk, Bryce like, no, Zach. And then Zach just kind of like shoves him against the walls, like, say some shit like that again, I will bust your fucking face in. And then Bryce like, I'm sorry, Zach. No, man, keep that same energy. Yo, when did you become such an asshole? You used to be such a good guy. Here's my big issue with this. Why the hell is Bryce mad at Zach? Sexuality aside, Bryce and Angela have been dating for a few weeks. I don't know if they were technically in a relationship, but they have said, oh, that's my man, that's my woman. So yeah, let's just say they're in a relationship. Bryce technically was he was in the act of cheating on Angela by making a move on Zach, who he knows is in a committed relationship. I don't know if he knows that Zach is engaged, but he is well aware that Zach and Fatima are official. So like I said, sexuality aside, what he did was foul. Now, he's getting pissed at Zach because Angela is acting weird towards him because Zach, the victim, spoke up about what almost happened to him. And then Zach shut that shit down. Because remember, Zach is still fuming over the family stuff because of he just saw his mom last night. So it was really off-putting for me to sit through Bryce's attitude. I'm like, you're the one who did all this. Like, you're acting like, look, it's kind of like, after Chris Rock dropped that recent special on Netflix, and then Will Smith is talking about how, yo, man, I wish you would get over this, and it's messed up. I feel like, disrespecting and whatnot. I'm like, but you're the one who slapped him, and then the victim is speaking out, and you're acting like you have a right to be upset. That's the same shit that's going on with Bryce right now. So, yeah, I didn't really like that. Now, back over at the law firm, Fatima gets a call, and then she later reveals her boss is a she. So I'm guessing Andy was the one that called her. I have several questions about this. So Andy called Fatima to go see the construction team to ask them to keep the noise down. I don't know if you can do that. Look, I've worked in offices before. Now, in a call center specifically, I know what it's like to deal with construction. And you're trying to maintain a stable work environment. So, for Fatima to be instructed to... Andy doesn't own... unless in this continuity, Andy is a partner or something. I don't know. But why would Andy send Fatima to do that? That just feels so... It feels like the forced drama. It just feels so weird. It just feels so out of place. Because of the fact that construction teams, like I remember in the mall I used to work at the call center before we moved to a official call center building, they were doing construction in like the upper floor, and it wasn't uncommon to come into work and find your entire workstation covered in ceiling dust. So it just felt weird to me that the story was forced into this. It's kind of like, when Andy forcibly put herself at the meeting where Zach had called Karen over to the house, and then Andy just decided to come over even though she had no reason to be there. The same could be said here with, oh, we need to move the story along, so Fatima has to go upstairs. And it's like Paul said, you need a hard hat to be up here, and she didn't want to put one on. It's like, hey, work environment. And like I said, Andy's the boss, well, allegedly. So, yeah, it just felt really, really just forced writing. So, okay, we got to get these two on the elevator, so, hey, I mean, even though you could have easily had Fatima go like, oh, shit, I forgot something in my car, Paul's going down as well because, he had to get something from his truck, and then they're stuck in the elevator. They could have easily just did that, because I don't think you can do that in a work environment. Like, it would have been different if, let's say, one of the owners of the law firm spoke with the construction, Paul, like, hey, man, I know we need to get these offices done, but is it possible for you to keep it down for like the next 30 minutes or only do the heavy, duty tool stuff at a certain time? That way it's not interrupting the workflow or something. That would make more sense, but no, we got to force the story along. Now, they go in the elevator and the power goes out. So we get a little, I'm not mad at character development. We get some backstory. Paul, was a former, he was in the military and whatnot. And he mentions how he's semi-claustrophobic because of his experience over in Afghanistan or Iraq. And as a result, that's why being on the elevator kind of freaks him out, being stuck in it. And he owns the construction company. It was his dad's, but he passed it down to him. And from there, Fatima tries to mention Angela in passing, but Paul doesn't, he's not attracted to, her. He has a specific kind of woman in mind. And here's the thing, going back to what I said earlier in the video about Fatima defending the relationship more than Zach, despite Paul constantly trying to, wear her down in regards to being attracted to her and, whatnot, Fatima's like, no, I'm engaged. And you can see how Paul tries to chip away at her relationship by, mentioning the insecurities and displaced anger of Zach. And yet Fatima still stands tall. She took off her heels because they had been standing in there for a while. And she's standing tall regardless. So he just constantly like, hey, well, can I at least be your friend? And then Fatima's like, no, because number one, I don't think Zach would like that. And number two, you obviously don't want to be just friends. And my thing is this. This woman is engaged, and yet you're constantly pressing up on her. Like, man, that's not cool. That's not cool. But then again, I mean, that's how it's always been. Like, people, they don't let an engagement ring or whatever stop them from making a move, that's pretty fucked up. So he does mention how he knows this therapist, Dr. Jackson Reed, who I think you should look into and refer to your, fiance, because from experience, yeah, he knows what it's like to have displaced anger from his time, in the military and whatnot. But it's kind of ironic because here you have in episode 2, Fatima telling Zach he needs to talk to somebody. And now the guy who's trying to make a move on this engaged person refers a doctor to Zach. So that's pretty weird. But from there, these two kind of have a little moment of, okay, yeah, that's cool. But then the elevator just randomly kicks up again. And Fatima kind of falls into Paul, and he catches her. And, as he's helping her back up, the elevator door is open and it's Zach, and he sees what's going on. And what the fuck? And that's the episode. So, yeah, unfortunately, this episode, and you've heard my thoughts. And, from Bryce's displaced anger, Zach's displaced anger and jealousy, which in episode 4, we kind of understand that he was right, but still, you would think he would conduct himself with a bit more maturity. Angela's sound advice, keeping your options open, but then again, I was laughing my ass off when Bryce rolled up on her. The kind of forced story of Fatima having to go up there to ask the construction team to keep it down. I mean, don't you have anybody else to do that? I don't know. But yeah, those are my thoughts. And like I said, a 6 isn't bad. Remember how many negative scores I gave Sistas Season 5? 6 out of 10 is a fantastic score in comparison. So I look forward to the comments. Maybe you all have perspectives that, are different from mine. So maybe some of the things I didn't like about in the episode, you could be like, well, Jeremy, actually, and we'll go from there. So like and subscribe, follow me on social media, and I will catch you in the next one. Even though technically, but Jeremy, Deja was in the episode. Doesn't that automatically give the score for the episode at least like a 12? I ain't gonna lie, Deja looked fine as hell, even with the neck brace and the, the arm sling. But she kicked at Zat, and I felt like that wasn't cool when he was trying to help her. So, yeah.